Nolan, really good to see you. We are sharing 4 tax tips for the end of the year. The end of the year is always a great time to start thinking about your taxes for the upcoming year. So we are sharing 4 tax saving tips that we can implement now to help get us on track for 2024. And first you say, consider maxing out your Roth IRA or consider a Roth conversion. We're recording this in October and people are actually calling October Rothtober.
Yeah, no, funny term, I guess, that's been coined with Roths in general. But this is usually the time of year to look at something like that. Maxing out your Roth IRA for people under the age of 50, that's $6,000 per year, and over the age of 50, it's $7,000 per year. So usually this is a good time of year to look at, hey, how much have I been putting in per month, or have I put any in this year at all into my Roth? And would it be beneficial maybe to do some before the end of the year or before the cutoff early next year, and maybe make a couple purchases? So stock market's been a little wobbly. It might be a good idea to sock a little more money in there right now and just have a little bit more in that retirement savings account.
Next, you say you offset gains by harvesting losses. This is known as tax loss harvesting.
Yeah, and most commonly when you're doing tax loss harvesting, you're doing it in taxable accounts, TOD, which are individual accounts, or joint accounts, or even some trusts. You can do some tax loss harvesting. Basically, what you're doing is taking good gains, like maybe gains that we experienced over the first 8 months of the year, and maybe offsetting them by some losses that maybe we incurred over the past couple months. So what you can do is kind of run the numbers in your portfolio and say, hey, of the gains that I've had, are there any assets I can sell in the near term before the end of the year to get a break on some of the taxes I might owe on some of the gains from my other stuff?
Third, you say, consider changing your tax filing status. I think for a lot of us, this is something set it and forget it, but perhaps we should be revisiting it.
Yeah, a lot of people, most married people, do married filing jointly for their taxes. There are 2 primary reasons that you would maybe consider filing separately, and that's mostly what we talk about when we consider changing tax filing status. Number one, if both people are high wage earners, usually if you file separately, you might be able to experience a tax benefit by not being bumped up into the highest tax bracket by filing jointly. So there can be a tax break there, but you have to make sure that you're over certain limits to not get certain tax breaks and deductions that you would normally get. And the other situation is maybe if there are very, very large medical expenses for one person and they earn significantly less than the other, it may be worth it in a year like that just to get the medical expense deduction that you wouldn't otherwise get if you filed jointly. But there are few and far situations between, and I would always suggest consulting your CPA or your accountant before you do something like that for sure.
And next you say, seek tax efficient investments. What specifically are you referring to?
Yeah, tax efficient investments. A lot of times people are looking to municipal bonds at this point. Municipal bonds, if you're talking a taxable account, they are tax efficient in that they're not taxed by the Fed and not taxed by the state. If you can find municipal bonds, like in your own locale or in your own city, oftentimes you don't have to pay local tax either on things like that. So that would be one type of tax efficient vehicle. And then there are other types of insurances where you can maybe get some tax deferral like you would get with an IRA, but without having that money in a retirement account. So there are a couple different areas that you can look to.
Okay, well, this was really helpful to talk through. It seems like some of these tips are a little bit more advanced than others. So if somebody has questions, how can they reach you?
So they can reach me at 616-301-2581 or cornerstone-rp.com. And there's a contact us box at the bottom. And then, of course, with taxes, I do always encourage people just to consult with their accountant before they change anything. And if they have any questions, they can reach out to me and we can conference call and go over some of these things too.
That's great. Nolan, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.